Cool. So why don't we do introductions first so that everybody knows each other and maybe share a little bit about like what your Lord of the Rings experience slash background is. Daniel, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Daniel. I think both Sam and Megan know me. Anyway, what was I saying? Lord of the Rings background. I read the novels when I was younger, before Harry Potter came out, and I blame that for not liking Harry Potter as much as everyone else. Um, However, after having seen the movies, I wasn't able to really read the books again. They're very, like kind of dry to them. But yeah, and I feel like I've read a good bit of Wikipedia type stuff. I have the Tolkien bestiary. My brother also had this not like kind of like DOS style game of Lord of the Rings. It was like sort of a strategy game thing. It had like a really good like manual with it. It had like a lot of it was almost like a book unto itself about all the world building information. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Megan?
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm in Maryland right now, and my Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit, and I read I think one and two, but I never quite made it through three because um I got distracted by life. And then when I lost the thread of the names and whatnot, then I was like, yep, nope. And then the movies came out and I watched the movies and that was fine. So the movies is probably what I remember most, but I'm not like super I remember the basics, but not a lot of the details.
Cool. Awesome. Sam?
Yeah. Let's see. I am Sam. I think, yeah, as I say, Daniel, I know. I think I've perhaps met Megan. Or you do swing dancing?
I do. Yes.
Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've met you at swing dancing
Yeah.
before. As for Lord of the Rings things, I have read The Hobbit, and I think I made it about halfway through the Fellowship before getting sidetracked on something else and never coming back. I have some beautiful, like very old copies of all three books that my dad that were my dad's that he gave to me. They're just back here with all my other giant pile of books. But yeah, I've seen the movies many times. Some friends of mine also were big fans of the extended versions of the movies, which the three extended Lord of the Rings are roughly on par duration wise with the first six Star Wars movies. Like time wise, they're very long. So I've seen those, but it has been a while since I've seen the extended cuts. But yeah, that's the bulk of my Lord of the Rings knowledge comes from the movies.
Cool. And you guys know me. I'm Eric, and I remember reading them in high school, and then I've read them a few more times since then. I am definitely not a Tolkien scholar. There are a couple of YouTube videos that I like channels that I watch that do really good in-depth analyses of some of his stuff. So we're definitely going to be playing Eric's version of Middle Earth. So if there are some things that are not like perfectly canonical,
Excuse me. In the first age of man.
yes, exactly.
1530.
So
That's perfect.
interpretive, yeah, that's going to be a little bit interpretive. Okay, so let's talk about our themes, mood, and tone. So I'm thinking of a couple of themes that could be interesting. I've heard it said that stories can be simply divided into three, which is like man versus himself, man versus man, and man versus nature. And so I'm kind of envisioning this as a man versus nature, like a courage in the face of isolation and loss and challenges along those lines. Are there any themes that you guys think would be interesting or fun to explore?
it's sort of like an espionage story because we're essentially it is an espionage operation. We're like a decoy fellowship. It's very like trying to think of a good comparison. But yes, I feel like some of the stuff I heard around D-Day was like the British like giving like false information to the Germans about like invading elsewhere, but and also feeding them information about invading where they did invade, because like, oh, well, we're getting clearly that's fake. And or the movie about Alan Turing where he figures out like one of the guys in his unit is like a spy, but then the British are like, oh yeah, well, we know he's a spy. You're gonna feed him more information. So you
Right,
give him
right.
this stuff, but you also give him this stuff, and just I don't. It's one of those, could potentially be one of those like ridiculous, like layered kind of things, and like, who in our company is who, and like what do they know, kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
And one little Tolkien thing I did go back to is so the wizards. There's the three that are kind of like in actually in Tolkien's works: Radagast, Gandalf, and Saruman. And then there's two that I can't remember if they get. I think they have like name. Yeah, they are like named. I don't remember what they are, but
Yeah, Alatar and Palando.
it said that they like went to the east, possibly to like agitate among the enemy, and like that was also kind of a covert intelligence sort of thing.
Yes, yeah, that is exactly where we're going.
And we could potentially have like a wizard character who was supposedly one of them, or not really, or could be, or could just be a person with a pointy hat.
A little bit. So that is actually going to be Glorfindel, who's one of the oldest and mightiest of the elves, is going to lead your party.
Oh, okay. I think I actually might know who this person is. Was he in?
Yeah, he's in the Fellowship. Arwen plays that role in the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Any other kind of themes or topics that would be fun to touch on?
I think if we're going on the like man versus nature plus espionage, more like a kind of race against time kind of thing. So whatever we
cool.
have to accomplish, like having it done in a certain time frame might be just an interpretation of nature.
Yeah,
like the environment, like we have to like get to a certain place to deceive or whatever. So that could be incorporated.
Cool. I dig that.
I have a less of a note on this and more of a question. Are we aware that we're a decoy squad, or are we thinking that we are the real thing?
Yeah, you're the real deal.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. I just wanted to be sure. Like, we don't know that we're not actually carrying the ring.
Right.
Whenever we figure that out, it's not going to cause problems if we do. Totally.
Okay, cool. I think that gives me some really good ideas. And then for the mood, which is like kind of the world that the characters inhabit, I'm trying to for mood and tone kind of strike a balance between like, I don't want it to be like super grim dark and everything terrible, all the time or anything like that. I'm also trying to get us a little bit for these games away from the like absolute silliness that sometimes we'll embrace, and it'll be more like a comedy show sometimes.
Yeah,
so not that there's no levity, but thinking about like the hits, like tension, and then broken up with some levity and tension. So kind of keeping the mood a little more realistic, I guess.
Okay.
What thoughts or ideas do you guys have around that?
I mean, that makes sense. I was wondering how that was going to work, because yeah, it's more like towards the levity side, but Lord of the Rings is not really like, I don't really think levity when I think.
This is as long as it doesn't, like when we leave the session, I feel stressed.
Oh yeah,
that's no good. So
Yeah.
as long as whatever occurs is resolved in some way, like I'm fine to be serious about the thing, but like it needs to like not make me feel sad at the end of the thing.
Oh.
Cool. Okay. And then going through our ground rules, I think you guys have all heard these, but just want to reiterate them. So the goal is for us to all tell a good story together. You'll be playing a character, I'll be creating the world, and we'll use dice when the stakes get high. Also, storytelling cannot start at happily ever after, because then there's no drama, right? There's no story. So we're going to try for relatively high verisimilitude. Like I said, I'll make rulings that may not be consistent with the world as Tolkien knows it, but there are monsters that we know about, like they're werewolves and vampires canonically. I probably won't have any like Greek monsters like Medusa or those kinds of things because they're not quite themed. But any like British Isles, kind of northern Scandinavian type monsters are very much on brand.
Makes sense.
Sometimes they'll have a spotlight on different characters, and that they'll be having the spotlight, and we'll hopefully move that around so everybody has an opportunity to kind of shine. The characters obviously don't have meta knowledge, so there are things that as a player that are different than what your characters know, and so we'll try to just stick to what the characters know. After the first session, if you want to make changes to your character, certainly feel free to do so. Mostly for combat, we'll just do theater of the mind, so narrated, but every now and then I might pull out a map there where we have for battle. Our out of character single is crossed fingers, so that indicates that we're talking out of character. Everyone knows don't be a jerk at the table, even if it's what your character would do, quote unquote. We don't want any significant antagonism between the player characters, so some tension and disagreement is fine, but no clubbing each other unconscious. If you can, turn cell phones off unless you're on call, like I sometimes am.
I'm never on call on Sundays.
Yay!
No one ever calls me.
For player absences, if one person is missing, we'll have somebody else play that character. If two people are missing, then we'll probably call it for that week.
I do know I'm going to be on vacation. Oh, all right. So if we're here, so that's 12, 26, 12. So on the 26th of March, I will be out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're actually going to be off for both those weekends in March because we're going to be in Australia.
There we go.
Yep. I just have not updated the calendar yet, but I will do so. And then while we're playing, please be respectful and focusing on the game. So no, Facebook or Twitter or that kind of thing going. For character death, definitely on the table. You guys know as players, you're doing something extremely dangerous. Like who said, yeah, there's 3 Nazgul for each of us, so that'll be fine. Probably will not be fine. Okay, our lines and veils. So lines are things that won't we touch on at all during the game, is sexual violence, and then veils might come up, but they'll happen off camera. Violence to children or old people or animals. In character intimate words or contact, torture, racism, sex work, cannibalism, extreme levels of body horror, and slavery will happen off camera kinds of things. Are there any other things that people want to add or talk about with regards to those safety steps? Okay, and then you guys roll your own dice. Sometimes I might ask for you to like use a dice roller and share screen for like really tense rolls for dramatic effect. And we'll default to every other week. Like I said, if our schedules don't align every now and then, that's fine. My main concern is when games fizzle. It's like, oh, we miss a week here and then we miss a week there, and then it's hard to get back into it. So I think consistency is really my goal for us to maintain. So
Yeah,
if you
and I
can't
know
make it,
Chris said it's if it were every other like week rather than this particular week. Do you know what I mean? Like if we're doing it these two, do it like those two instead. So I don't know if your week or your vacation in Australia, like if we switched it to, do you know what I'm saying?
I do. It
Okay.
impacts the game on the other Sunday because I play every Sunday.
There
So
you go.
it impacts
Okay.
that game, which may be
Okay.
immaterial. Like those people's schedules, like my schedule, it doesn't matter. Those people's schedules, it might not matter either. It's just more than the
It's
group here.
rearranging people is tricky. So just
Yeah.
okay.
But if that's true sort of indefinitely for him, then that's something that we could look at arranging anyways. And then for start time, try to be punctual as much as possible. I try to be on, a few minutes before the game starts. So any questions, comments about any of those kind of ground rule type things? Okay,
Nope.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the game system that we're going to be using. So it's a modification of a D100 system that is used for Call of Cthulhu. I'll put a link to a Google Doc with a I don't know if I'd say a summary necessarily, but a description of the modifications. So on a simple basis, we'll have two 10-sided dice, 2d10. So mine, I have one of them that has like the 10s on it, and then just a regular d10. So most of the checks are going to be rolling percentile dice. So roll 2d10. One of them is the 10s, one of them is the 1s. And you're trying to get a number below your skill. So if your skill is 60%, you want to get a 60 or less in order to be successful. So that's the fundamental basis of the mechanic. So the lower you roll, the better.
Okay. This is opposite of what I've played before?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. And then if you roll half the skill, so if your skill is 60% and you roll like a 25, then that's an even better success. And if you roll like a fifth of the skill, that's an extreme success. So it just indicates to you how successful you're being with what your action is. And then there are 8 characteristics. So strength, constitution, size, dexterity, appearance, intelligence, power, and education that inform the character. And then their skills on top of each of those. So let's look through these skills together. I just did this with the other group. So Sam, sorry if this is a little redundant. And if you have questions,
no worries. I'm taking this time to set up our Discord channel.
Oh, good. If you have questions as we're going through, please stop me and ask. So accounting is just what it says, dealing with finances, dealing with money. Probably not going to come up a lot in this game, to be honest. I just kept it there for completeness' sake. Animal handling, this is dealing with animals, which, the great eagles are intelligent beings, right? So that's not animal handling, but like horses for sure would be animal handling, dogs, animals that you might encounter in the forest.
Birds.
Yeah, birds, exactly. Appraise is determining the value of a thing, probably not going to come up a whole lot.
How come it says INT after that one and accounting?
So INT is intelligence. That is the characteristic that is associated with that skill. So what your skills are going to look like is you're gonna create your characteristics. So let's say you put 70 in your intelligence. So then your starting skill is going to be 1/5 of that. So 70 divided by 5 is 12. No, 14. So your starting accounting is going to be 14. Your starting appraise is going to be 14. Your starting native language is going to be 14. Your starting perception is going to be 14.
Divided between those two things, all the things that fall in intelligence.
all of those things have a default value 1/5 of your intelligence when you start,
Okay.
and you can increase from there. Okay, arts has a star or asterisk by it because you have to specialize, so you can't just take arts. You have to do like sculpting or painting or whatever your art is. So each of those would be a separate skill. Disguise is passing yourself off as someone else. Dodge is a really important skill in D100. It's one of your major combat skills. So in a fight, when you're getting attacked, you usually have two options. You can fight back or you can dodge. And if you fight back, there's the possibility if you hurt them or they might hurt you. If you just dodge, you just get out of the way and don't get hurt. So it depends on what your strategy is, but dodge is an important combat skill. Build repair would be like your bow gets broken and you need to build a new one. You need to get some more arrows. Your sword gets nicked. You need to repair it. Anything like that is going to be build repair.
What does VAR stand for?
That means variable. So it's going to depend a bit. It's going to depend on what the build repair thing that you're doing is.
So is that like the arts where you have to pick, like, I am going to be good
Right.
at fixing wooden things, and then you can do
Yes.
that thing?
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I actually should put an asterisk by that. Thank you, Megan. So yeah, you'll have build repair, metal weapons, for example, build repair, archery, fletchering kind of things. For weapons, build repair, cart, each of those would be a separate skill because what you use to build a cart is separate than what you use to make a bow. Instruction is a skill that you can use to help other people improve their own skills eventually. Magic we'll talk about separately in a little bit. Athletics is climbing, swimming, running, anything like that is included under athletics. Fighting, this is going to be melee fighting, and this is another skill that you have to specialize in. So you can't just take fighting. You would have to take like axes or brawling or spears or whatever it is whatever your weapon is, you would have a separate skill for it. Projectiles, similarly, this is going to be bows, primarily bows. I don't think they have crossbows in Middle Earth.
Yeah, I think they do in the movies some.
Movies, at least. Yeah. So bows would be a skill, crossbows would be a separate skill, for example. First aid is just initial patching someone up. You need medicine to get them to be better, but first aid is just like initial stopping the blood. Intimidate is getting people to do what you want by scaring them or threatening them. Native language, this is the skill that you have in your native language. For most of you, this is going to be Westron, which is basically the common language. It's equivalent to English for us. And this would come in if you're like trying to deal with a dialect or something that's hard to understand or something like that. You can also learn other languages like Sindarin, which is one of the Elven languages, or the Dwarven language. Law is just what it says. So knowing what's legal and how to use the law probably won't come up a whole lot in the wilderness.
Come in. My hero. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought you weren't at home. It doesn't look like your place.
I'm not at home.
Oh, good.
I'm at Sarah and Kara's. I stayed.
Oh.
Yeah, I stayed for dance practice after Silks, and now she's made me mac and cheese with fried fake chicken patty on top, and it smells amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, sounds good.
Investigate is like searching a place, finding clues, that kind of thing. Insight is getting an inspiration to, like, usually you use this to read other people, like what are they thinking, what's their motivation, how do they feel, that kind of thing. Perception is like being able to spot something. So Legolas, for example, has crazy high perception because he can see really far away with some detail.
But that's different than investigate.
Yeah, investigate is I'm looking around searching for clues about something. Usually investigation is done like, in a 5-foot
intent.
area around you.
Okay.
Yeah, perception
Sure.
perception is to notice something. Investigation is like, what does that mean? Oh, okay. The coin is the coin. I found the coin head up, so that means such and such. Whereas perception is like spotting something.
Okay.
But tracking would probably be survival, right? Skipping.
And tracking would be survival. You might do investigation to like find the tracks or something like that, but following them would be survival. Medicine is what you need to actually like repair yourself. So in D100, one of the reasons that I like this system is when you get hurt, it's a problem. Humans are soft, squishy bags of cells and blood that tend to ooze out of them. So in contrast to hit points in D&D, the hit points that we have in D100 are tough to get back. You legit have to rest up for a long time. Ride, this is by animal type. For you guys, that's probably going to be horses, but if you had wargs or something like that, that would be a separate skill. Persuade is getting something to get someone to do something because you're convincing them or being nice to them. So as opposed to intimidate, which is scaring them. Read lips allows you to see what someone's saying at a distance. Science is another skill that each of these is a specialty. So you would have like biology or botany or oceanography. Each of those would be its own skill. Sleight of hand is doing anything like concealing something up your sleeve or picking someone's pocket or anything that requires like fine little manipulation. Juggling would be a sleight of hand as well. Stealth is just hiding, sneaking, camouflage, being away from detection. Survival also requires a specialization, so it would be like forest survival or jungle survival or Arctic survival or mountain survival. Each of those would be its own skill. And then throwing is hurled objects, so that's another weapon use. So spears.
Different than projectiles.
Yeah, projectiles are like a bow, like something that's a string. Thrown is like a dagger or a rock or something like that.
What's a slingshot?
I think a slingshot would be projectiles.
So with like throwing an axe,
That would be throw.
Oh, it would be throw. Okay.
Yep. So those are the skills. And then I mentioned the ones that have stars next to them, you have to specialize. The one that have the pound symbol next to them, you can specialize. So for example, in animal handling, you can choose to have a specialty of like animal handling horses, animal handling birds, animal handling dogs, etc.
But you can also just be good at animal handling in general.
Yes, exactly. You can just be good at animal handling in general. So the advantage of being a specialized is that, let's say you're confronting a dog and it's like starved and it's growling at you and it clearly is going to like wants to attack you. That circumstance, just succeeding on a regular animal handling check may not be enough. Like you might need to get a hard success, which is a lower roll basically. But if you had a specialty in animal handling dogs, then maybe it would just be a normal success rather than a hard success.
And you would make that decision of what the level needs to be.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the challenges that you're going to meet will be a normal success. You just need to roll below your skill. But if something's particularly hard, it might be a hard success, which is you have to roll below half your skill. Or extreme success, which is you have to roll a fifth of your skill. So what questions do you guys have about these skills?
I think I will need an example, like character thing to like get it.
Yeah,
Completely.
most definitely.
I've like got the gist, but yeah.
Yep. I'm going to put in the chat a fillable PDF character sheet that you guys can open up and use to fill out. But yeah, we'll definitely, I mean, this is also new for this game system I have not used very often. So we'll have to figure it all out together.
I mean, I'm probably building a spreadsheet because I like doing that, and it'll divide for me.
Cool. So for the types of characters that you can play, you can pretty much play anything except a wizard from the Lord of the Rings world. So if you want to be an elf, if you want to be a man, if you want to be a dwarf, if you want to be a hobbit, any of those are available. There's no mechanical consequence to the different races. So if you're like, oh yeah, dwarves are sturdy and strong and whatever, the way you make that happen is where you put the points for that character, right? So if it's on brand for that race, you just put them where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So you could be a super bulky short elf if you wanted to be.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Based on where you put your points.
Right.
I'm not a dwarf, I promise.
And then with regards to magic, so the way that I want to handle this is that each of the characters can have up to 5, we're going to call them magical effects, but these are the things that we see the characters in the books and the movies do that are basically superhuman, right? So like Legolas being able to walk on top of the snow when everyone else is like sinking down, like that would basically be considered a magical effect. When Boromir gets hit by like a gazillion arrows and keeps on fighting, that would be considered a magical effect. So I'm using the term magic a bit broadly here, and maybe supernatural, something that is not available to like normal people in the real world, I guess, would be a way to conceptualize it.
Kind of.
What's that?
Like maybe like heroic could be another word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, heroic abilities. I think for especially some of the elven stuff is like approaching more of magic, I would say.
They don't need to sleep. They can walk on top of snow and leaves and other crazy stuff.
Right.
So
each character can have up to 5 of those effects. And I think that I'm going to do it the way that yet another game system does it, which is Fate, which is you can decide those effects at character creation if you want. You could wait to see a time when it would be useful for your character to have that, and then it comes up, right? So for example, we don't know that Boromir can survive like a dozen arrow hits before it happens at that moment. So if we're playing along and you're like, oh, this would be a really cool, dramatic, heroic effect for my character to have, then we add it to your character sheet at that time. And it's one of their things going forward.
I like that.
Cool.
It was pretty good when we were playing the Dresden Files game.
Yes, exactly. That's where I got the idea.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's a cool storytelling sort of thing that
right.
happens in stories anyway, as you discover things as you go along.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We discover things as we go along. And then for character advancement, so one of the reasons I really like the D100 system is it more mimics real life. So if you use a skill at the end of the adventure, you get to roll to see if that skill improves. And if your
adventure is defined as like this 2-hour period in which we're playing.
No, an adventure is going to be like a narrative arc. So it might be like
usually 3 to 5 sessions. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like go find and recruit Radagast to join you. Like that would be an adventure.
Okay.
So that's how skill improvement works. And then for the character creation start, for your 8 characteristics, you have 460 points that you disperse however you like. And then you have 250 skill points to allocate above that.
When you're dividing stuff, like dividing by a fifth or whatever, stuff gets rounded down, I assume, right?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think we'll just default to round down.
That makes it harder though, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'd have to double check the rules as written. I can't remember.
I mean, this is kind of how D&D works, so I assume for balance, it's probably a good thing to do.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Or I should have just not said anything, Megan. We round up, right?
Whatever. I'm gonna need a lot of help making my sheet, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, and then for the background, as it were, so you all arrive in Rivendell through, however your backstory is. The Council of Elrond that happens, it's not like he called people, it's just like people showed up and he like got all these people together and like, oh hey, all these people are here, let's get them together and talk about this problem. So you all happen to also be at Rivendell. You were not invited to the Council of Elrond, though. You're just like miscellaneous people that are around and about Rivendell that then get called to a second Council of Elrond that you don't know about the first one. You, as far as you know, you get called to the Council of Elrond, who tells you that the One Ring has been found, that this is Sauron's Master Ring, and it can allow you all to basically become as powerful as Sauron, and so throw him down. So the plan is for Glorfindel to lead you to the east, where you will raise a host from the Wood Elves, the Dwarves of Erebor, the Men of Dale, subdue the Easterlings, which are just working for Sauron because they're afraid of him, but if they know you have the One Ring, they will be afraid of you, and then lead that host south to Mordor and into Mordor to destroy him. And then along the way, you also need to get the aid of the Blue Wizards, Alatar and Palando, and also the Brown Wizard, Radagast.
I'm in.
That's a lot of tasks.
It's a lot. Yeah, this is the fate of the world in your hands.
It's a lot of tasks. What do we got? Like 3 years to do this?
No, because Mordor is massing its forces and will attack Gondor momentarily. And if Gondor falls, then it doesn't matter if you have a whole host behind you. The world of free peoples will be destroyed.
Check. So we've got like 2 weeks.
maybe a few months.
Okay. All right.
Yep. To travel past Mirkwood and into the east.
So do we have a designated ring bearer, like Glorfindel, for instance? Or
Yeah, Glorfindel is going to be the ring bearer.
Are you Glorfindel?
Yeah, Glorfindel will be a non-player character, so he's controlled by me.
Okay, yeah.
But there are also going to be there are going to be elven and man and soldiers in this group that you're heading off with. So it's not just going to be the 4 of you in Glorfindel. There's going to be others in this group. It's not going to be it's not going to be like hundreds, but there's going to be like a couple of kind of man-at-arms soldier types that are going with you.
Okay.
I was kind of assuming we had 9 just because, but anyway. Not sure why there's 9 in law school. You never really I don't really get the symbolism of the number there, but anyway.
Oh, yeah. So that's the basics and the basic pitch. I don't think that we have any specific needs for character niches or skills. Someone who has survival actually would be really useful. Like Glorfindel is an awesome warrior, and that's pretty much all he's bringing to the table. So you're gonna need, some kind of guide tracker type person would be tremendously helpful. Someone to talk to the locals and negotiate when you get to the elves and the dwarves and the men of Dale would also be tremendously useful. But I don't know that there's any. So I think those are the two things that I can think of. Someone who can do, hunting as well would be helpful in terms of keeping the group supplied as you're making this journey. So those are the roles that I can think of. So character wise, Sam, do you have any thoughts on what would be fun for you to play?
I am figuring that out.
You have thoughts? Okay,
nothing
Megan.
yet. Nothing yet.
What have you got?
I think I'd like to be an engineer type.
Ooh.
So like,
Oh, cool.
so I can like do more of the like jerry rig survival skills. So like if
Okay.
you need a thing, I can engineer it to be maybe a little less on the people skills,
Right.
but better with like the animals and the physical, like I can fix things.
Cool.
So kind of survival-esque probably
Okay.
is more the role I would like to take.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that would be tremendously useful because you'll not be close to civilization very often. So having someone who can kind of jury rig things and also, come up with like mechanical solutions to problems would be really handy. Cool. Daniel, any thoughts that you're having?
Just thinking like a ranger rogue kind of thing. I'm sort of feeling. Not really. Not really interested in playing an elf for some reason.
Okay. I mean, you can play. Ow,
They're-
cat? The fuck? Sorry. Cat went crazy. You could play one of the Dunedain, the Rangers of the North.
I was thinking that was one of the things that kind of crossed my mind. Yeah, a man or a dwarf maybe, or maybe almost like a Bree type of character, like scruffy, like a actual rogue type, almost a mercenary or like a pickpocket, perhaps, but I'm not sure.
Ah, cool.
Sam, that puts you as the diplomat of the group.
Yeah.
So
We're
I
also
actually-
missing
I-
Ken. We can also Ken not being here can get assigned whatever we want.
So I was actually
and
thinking
then-
I might play against my usual type in at least one way, and to my usual type in another way. I'm thinking of being like a big, strong, dumb idiot who is really charismatic. Like he's really friendly and good with people, but he's just a moron. But he's good with all the like physical tasks. Like that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. Like give him any like we need to cut wood or drag logs or move bodies or any of that physical stuff he can totally take care of. And if we
And
need
then
to like
charming.
go talk with the locals, he's a good smooth talker, but don't ask him to do any deep analysis or he's going to be in trouble.
That sounds amazing.
Do you think Ken will play the diplomat then?
Yeah, I mean he can do whatever.
It's true.
And hopefully we'll be able to get schedules shifted so Chris can join us. So we might
Maybe-
have some more.
I think maybe for myself, like a Dunedain of like minor disgrace. Like maybe I've kind of like left the fold. Like I didn't do anything bad enough to where
Okay.
I can still go to Rivendell or whatever.
Right.
But instead
Cool.
of doing whatever it is that they do as their duty, I have forsaken that and have instead just sort of gone on to make what money I can, however
Cool.
I can.
Nice. I mean, that would be a good thing. Like you just were more interested in making money than Dunedain are supposed to be. And they're like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
not really fitting in here.
Like why do we care about the Shire place? Like just hobbits in there. They have good pipe weed.
Yeah, right. But yeah, they're not engaging in trade with people and collecting gold or anything.
Why are we guarding them? I mean, that's like one thing I know that they. One thing I knew that they were doing was they were like patrolling the Shire to kind of like watch out for agents of Sauron, and so I assume they've kind of just been doing stuff like that over the centuries or whatever. But yeah, and my character just doesn't care.
Right. Cool. Awesome. I think that sounds like a fun group. Megan, do you think that you would want to play a dwarf or
Elf.
a human?
Elf.
Oh, an elf. Okay, cool. And Sam, human, or what are you thinking?
I have no idea. I mean, yeah, they just somebody big and strong. So whether I'd probably a human, I'm thinking, unless there's something else that would make more sense. I don't. Yeah, the dwarf would probably, even though dwarves are beefy, there's probably too short to fill the idea I was thinking of. So yeah, I'm thinking probably human.
Cool. That all sounds good. Okay. So with that basic outline and we have the character sheets that I put up there. Why don't we talk a little bit about mechanics so that especially Megan and Daniel, we can help each other figure things out. So first of all, so step number one is, coming up with a character concept, which we just talked about. And then mechanically, step number two is we need to think about allocating these 8 different characteristics and where they might go. So Megan, I'm thinking that, with especially a lot of the engineering, like science type skills are going to be intelligence or education related. So probably having a high intelligence or education would probably be helpful there. What do you think of that?
Yep.
Do you think, would it make more sense for your character to be primarily more intelligent, or do you think that they are more educated, or both?
I think more, and I was picturing like an intelligent, nerdy, socially awkward individual.
Okay. Cool.
So probably less good at teaching to other people, but can do the thing. So
Okay.
probably more on the intelligence, but not
Cool.
absent in education.
Right. Okay, great. So yeah, you have 460 points. So if you started with like a 90 or 100 in intelligence, that would probably be a good starting point. And then also pretty high education, like 70, 80, 90 in education.
Ooh, it like autofills.
Oh, does it? I haven't played with this form at
So
all.
if I put 100 in for intelligence, then it gives me the half and the fifth already.
Oh, cool. Look at that. Nice.
All right. So if I put 100 in intelligence and then what, like 75 in
Yeah.
education?
Yeah. And then some important things to know is there's some downstream consequences for these choices besides your skills, which is your sanity and magic are dependent on your power characteristic, and your hit points are dependent on your size and constitution divided by 10. And then your speed is also dependent on your dexterity, strength, and size. So size is a, relatively important variable there. So for perspective, size numbers, a size of 1 would be a baby. A size of 15 would be a child, very short in stature. A size of 65 is an average human, moderate height and weight. A size of 80 is very tall, strongly built, or obese, 240 pounds. A size of 99 is oversized in some respect, 330 pounds. And obviously, we don't go above that for humans, but a size of 150 is a horse or a cow. A size of 180 is heaviest human ever recorded.
How many points do I get to break up?
460.
460.
And an average human is 50 in each of these. So just thinking about that for what you would expect to average. If you just had an average person, they would have 50 in all all 8 of these.
What does CON stand for again?
CON is constitution. So that's your health, vitality, shrugging, how well you shrug off sickness and pain.
What's like a standard appearance, like, right? Appearance, APP is for appearance, right?
Yeah, appearance again. So average is 50. Appearance
Okay,
of
that's what you
15 is ugly, possibly disfigured. An appearance of 90, one of the most beautiful people you could meet, natural magnetism.
And power is like your ability to do physical things, like the
No.
like throwing and the.
No, that would be more strength. Power is your willpower, your mind. So a power of 15 is weak-willed, easily dominated by those with a greater intellect or power. 50 is average. 90 is strong-willed, driven, high potential to connect with the unseen and magical.
All right. I made up numbers. Let's see if I added up appropriately.
Cool. Daniel, Sam, how are you guys going with your point allocations?
Yeah, I am working on it now.
Oh, struggle.
Cool.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to make this a spreadsheet.
Yes.
I like my spreadsheets. That's how I do all my character sheets is spreadsheets.
I'm just gonna
What is like wisdom perception? Like what kind of skill would that be?
That's in perception is perception, or insight is getting a read on people.
Or
Perception, it's based on intelligence, right? For perception.
Perception's intelligence. Insight is intelligence or power.
okay, I was just kind of wondering what corresponded to wisdom roughly, which
It depends. Probably power. It depends on what aspect of wisdom you're thinking of.
yeah.
Intelligence is learn, remember, analyze information, and solve complex puzzles. Power is force of will, higher aptitude and resistance to magic.
All right, Eric, I did it. Will you tell me if this makes sense for the thing I want to do?
Yes.
Okay. So I gave myself a strength of 35.
Okay.
A constitution. Oh, look, it even tells me what it is. Constitution of 60.
Okay.
A dexterity of 50.
Cool.
Intelligence of 90.
Okay.
Size of 50.
Uh-huh.
Power of 60.
Okay.
Appearance of 50.
Uh-huh.
And education of 65.
Cool. I think that sounds great.
Okay, great. Done.
Yeah. So now I don't think the spreadsheet automatically does this for you, but each of your starting skills will be 1/5 of the associated characteristic. So for example, for animal handling, I think you said your power was 60.
Power is 60, so it tells me a 5th is 12.
Yes.
So
Oh,
then I
okay,
get-
perfect.
So,
So
I
then
have
you
to
just-
go assign that 12 to somewhere.
To
So-
animal handling.
Eric, if you want, I can like modify this sheet and come up with a custom one that has like all of our skills and not all of the like
Yeah.
Cthulhu mythos and whatnot. And I can send that back to you so we can have one that matches up
Cool.
the skills that we actually have.
That would be great. So yeah, you'll have to add, if it's not there, Megan, you'll have to add animal handling in the bottom right. Below tracking, there are some open slots.
Okay, there's like some like open slots under science as well. Let's see.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, those you can put in. You might want to save those because you'll probably need to put like engineering and
Yeah,
those kinds of skills in there.
okay, so the skill.
So
The-
is there a top end on points that can be in, I forget what you said, some ranges for like the different attributes or characteristics.
Yeah, so if you want to, so the characteristics you can max out. The skills at character creation, you can bring your skill up to half the associated characteristic. So if your power is 60, you could bring your animal handling up to 30 for 1-to-1. And if you want to exceed that, then you have to pay 2-to-1. So if you want to go to if your power is 60, your starting animal handling is 12, raising it up to 30 costs you 18 of your 250 points to spend. And if you want to raise it then from 30 to 40, that would cost you another 20 points. So you'd spend 38 points total to get from 12 to 40.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Does that make sense? And then
I
there's a
am
max.
So lost.
Then there's a max
That's
of
okay.
70 at your character creation.
It's yeah, I didn't really listen, Megan. It started going over my head, and I was like, oh, I'll figure it out later.
So the 8 characteristics are what you have here in the Google sheet, not what's all these skills that are listed on this Call of Cthulhu sheet.
So the 8 characteristics are the ones that you assign the strength, con, dex, and size, pal, app, edu. Those are your characteristics.
Okay.
The Google Doc with the table, those are skills.
Okay.
So the characteristics are like who you are, and then the skills are what you do.
Okay.
But
So
the skills on the sheet aren't necessarily the skills that we're using, because the skills are on the sheet are from Cthulhu.
okay. So on the Google Doc it says I have 250 points to place into the skills.
Yep.
But you're saying that the points I can max out are based on the characteristics I've chosen?
Right, exactly. So the steps of the process, which this is the way I would do it, but if Sam, Daniel, if you have another suggestion, that's fine. What I would do is start with the default skill, like the default number of the skill, which is the 5th value. So for accounting, you're going to take whatever your intelligence is and put the 5th value in the skill slot for accounting. For animal handling, you're going to put 12 in there because that's a 5th of your power. For appraise, you're going to put a 5th of 90 in there.
Because that's a 5th of intelligence. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm
Yes.
following. Okay.
So the way I would do it is start with that, like populate all the skills that you have and what their points are just starting out. And then that'll give you an idea for where you want to go from there.
So does that include my are those numbers included in my 250?
No. So
Those are not. Okay.
Right.
So that's like my baseline, and then I have 250 to add on top of that.
Yep.
Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then as you're adding those 250, if you want to, so you can raise up to half the characteristic at a 1-to-1. So if your power is 60, you can raise up to 30, just 1 point raises it, that animal handling 1 point. But then after you've passed that threshold, once you're more than halfway to the associated characteristic, so after you pass 30,
it costs more.
Exactly, then it's 2-to-1.
Okay. All right. I follow now.
And you have a maximum on all of your skills of 70. So no matter what, you can't have a higher than 70 at character creation.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And then I don't want to put too much more, but I just wanted to mention this. In addition to that, you have 100 points that go into interests and hobbies that are not specified. So those can be, whatever, flower arranging, things that your character likes to do, but that probably are not mechanically relevant. Although if you had a skill in flower arrangement and you came upon a funny flower and you're like, can I identify this? I would be like, yeah, do you have botany? And you're like, no, but I have flower arranging. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can use your flower arranging skills. So they're not totally useless, but they're primarily flavor.
Okay, I have another question now.
Yeah.
So looking at this fill-in sheet, some of the things have percentages after them. So like disguise looks like it has a 5% after it.
Yes. Yep.
What does that mean?
So in the original game, that is the default value, but we're using a different system
Okay.
or a slightly different
So
system.
ignore those percentages
Correct.
and use the table you gave to fill in.
Correct. Yep.
And we're starting at a 5th for all of them.
Unless it has a 0 next to it. So medicine, for example, has a 0. So it
So
starts
if I
at
want medicine, I have to use my bonus points.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Daniel and Sam, how's it going for you guys?
I think I've got a reasonable what do you call your base stats? Characteristics. I think I have a
Characteristics?
reason-
Cool.
Yeah, I think I have a
Did
reasonable-
you
what-
send me the what you were reading, the like base of like this range for this stat is roughly this? Do you have that in a form that I could?
I can take
See.
a picture of it.
That would be great. That's what I've been trying to like. I was trying to find something like that, but I do not. The internet, Google is not helping me right now.
Yeah, I'll just email it to you.
Cool. That would be great because I'm trying to like fit it within the reasonable boundaries of that. I got sidetracked trying to
yeah.
track that down.
kind of on that note, I have my highest score is an 80 in Dex. Is that like ridiculous, or is that like a 16 in D&D, or is that like
Yeah, that's like a 16.
okay?
So it's pretty good, but it's not crazy high.
All right.
Well, would a 100 be like a 20 then, or
Yes, exactly.
okay?
Yeah, a 100 is maximum human ability for most of these.
Is there an instruction on this sheet? Am I missing it?
For what?
So like in looking at your Google table,
Uh-huh.
the second column, third row is for instruction,
Right.
but I don't see a place to put that in here.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to add it in.
Okay, just like I added in the animal handling.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if Sam is able to build something better, that's great. Sorry, it didn't occur to
Yeah.
me ahead of
Yeah,
time.
I will do that and I will send it out. Yeah, I'll send
So
it to
just
Eric,
like-
or I'll send it to you, Eric, and you can distribute it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Magic
it shouldn't take me too long to knock that out.
Magic needs its own thing. I'm just. You can do it. Go, computer, go.
Hmm.
Are you struggling so hard? There we go.
Yeah, you could leave magic empty for now because that's going to be those individual powers that you decide on.
Okay, but then I don't have to, do I need to save some of my 250 for that then?
If you want to start with any of those powers, then yeah, I would save some of your 250 for that.
Is athletics, is that kind of like the same way it's used in D&D? Or I'm asking because it has both
Yes.
okay, but it has both strength and con listed. So how do I get my default value?
So if there's more than one attribute listed, you get to choose.
Hmm.
And once you've made that choice, it endures for your character. So if you choose, what are we looking at? Athletics.
So like, there's not an athletics. I can either, there's a climb
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, you could put, if you don't have enough space to add it in, you can put it under climb just for now.
I can
So
put- I
yeah,
can put it
Daniel.
over here. I'll put it over here.
So either strength or con, and once you choose which that is, then that's an enduring choice for that character.
Mhm.
And con stands for constitution. Right.
Yep.
How can you survive? Let's do that then. Fighting. So it would make sense to pick the highest number for the thing then.
Yeah, generally. I think that the only reason why you wouldn't is that potentially some of these characteristics might be able to increase. I haven't come up with a good mechanism for that. And so, like, theoretically, if you started with like a strength of 50 and a size of 60, and you based it off of your size because it's higher now, but then your strength went up in the future, maybe it would be better to have it be strength. But for all intents and purposes, I would suggest, yeah, choose the highest value.
Okay.
And then fighting is one of those skills that you have to choose a specialty of.
Oh, so right. So there, because there's the fighting brawl.
Yes.
But then there's like, I could choose like knife fighting if I wanted
Yes.
to instead.
Or sword or whip or spear. Yeah.
On that note, for like melee weapons, is that like strength or dex or dealer's choice?
So brawl for the D100 includes all unarmed fighting and basic weapons that anyone can pick up and make use of, such as clubs, knives, and many improvised weapons like bottles and chair legs. So brawl covers like small hand weapons.
Okay.
Does that
So that's a little more broad than just saying like knife fighting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that seems fine.
I was just asking because we just have fighting on our I mean we have projectiles, fighting, and throwing are the ones that are listed on your set of rules. I think that
yeah. So yeah, so sorry, I lost track of what the question was.
If I wanted to focus on like knives or swords or something, and assuming I didn't have like, you know, some huge two-handed kind of thing, it might make more sense for me just to specialize in dex and not worry about strength so much. Or lean more towards dex than I already am, because I don't know if I need as much strength as I have.
That's a good question. So I just realized, I'm sorry, there's another consequence of your characteristic decisions is your combat value. You get a damage bonus based on strength plus size.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that
So is that like the hit points that automatically calculated for me?
the hit points are that, and then there's also a damage bonus, which I'm not sure it should calculate for you. That's going to be in the far bottom right of that first page.
So,
yeah,
and with
it
regard to that,
calculates.
how much do you expect we will be fighting?
Oh, thank you. That's a good question. So thinking about like the D&D 3 pillars of like role playing, exploration, and combat, I think exploration is definitely going to be the most prominent thing that we do. And then combat, I'd say, is going to be fairly prominent. And then role playing. So I'd say like on a 3-point scale, I'd say exploration is a 3, combat is a 2, and role playing is probably also about a 2. So more than in the Star Wars game.
Cool,
But
yeah, I know that one we were like run from combat, avoid combat.
yeah, but as discussed, you know, the D100 system is not very forgiving once you get injured. So it's not going to be at all like D&D. Like if at all possible, you don't want to throw down with a band of orcs.
Right.
I find it useful that it's doing the math for me, but man, it's slow.
Is it really? That's weird.
Mine is like blinking at me like significantly and like strobe affecting.
Ew.
It's annoying me.
So on intimidate, it has size or appearance. Size makes sense, but appearance, if you're more attractive, you're more intimidating.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Daniel, I clubbed together like 3 game systems to make this work out. So there are going to be some holes.
Sorry. I was not using your system. I apologize.
There are going to be some holes here or there.
All right. Eric, why did you make this hard on yourself to cobble together so many different varieties?
It's a good question.
Out of
So
curiosity.
I really like the advancement mechanic in the D100 system where you roll, and if you get higher than your skill, you get more skill, because that makes sense, right? Like as you're approaching that asymptote of skill, like it's just really harder to get better. But the way that you get better is using the skill. So that appeals to me a lot, especially for these games that are having a little bit more like real world verisimilitude than like high fantasy D&D games, where it's like, oh yeah, you level up and you get, you take a bunch of damage and you rest up for 8 hours and you're good to go. It just mood and tone wise, it didn't quite match with how I'm thinking of, because like Gandalf only runs a bunch of the time, right? Because he's like, I am also a squishy bag of meat. So the high fantasy thing of D20 doesn't work, I don't think, for these games. So yeah, so I really like the advancement system. I really like the hit point system and the healing and damage and that kind of thing. So
Okay.
that's why.
I'm having to write in a lot of these. That's right. Correct. Like I'm not.
Yes, yes,
it
it is. Yeah, and yeah, that's another thing, is that Call of Cthulhu is very explicitly designed to be 1920s investigating monsters. So Middle Earth destroying the One Ring is a little different. What are you trying to like balance, Sam?
How dumb is too dumb?
Uh-huh.
And how can I still be a reasonably effective character with all these int skills being really terrible? So the adjustment was like, okay, I probably should put a little more into POW, because a lot of the things have crossover between int and POW. So I'm like, okay, I'll put a little more into POW. That way I'm not terrible at all of these skills.
That's a good idea. I mean, what skills that are intelligence are ones that you feel you need?
The main one was like survival and insight. Those were the two.
Okay.
Particularly, like I don't care if I'm not good at like investigation and perception.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely up your POW is a good idea.
Yeah, because like I want him to be a reasonable like people person, so like insight seems helpful for that.
And then survival, that's when you have to like pick a specific thing, right?
Exactly.
What type of environments do you expect us to be in a lot?
I will tell you very specifically the environments, because you guys know where you got to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go through Mirkwood. So that's dense forest.
Okay.
There are mountains, the Gray Mountains to the north and the Iron Hills are kind of on your to-do list, but that's not the primary path that you're taking. So you're primarily going through Mirkwood, which is dense woods, and then you're going through plains to get to Rune.
Now, what's Rune again?
Rune is basically the eastern lands where the Easterlings are, and that's where you think the Blue Wizards are, and you're going to go cow them into submission to join your massive host.
All right.
I'm going to choose mountains for my survival then.
Cool.
How important is Dex if I'm really strong and don't care about dodging?
Yeah, if you don't worry about dodging, you don't need it really.
Cool. Okay.
And it's okay to like, so if like multiple things are between strength and dex, I can use like dexterity for most of them.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like if I use dexterity for one, I have to use strength for the other.
No.
Okay.
If I have an appearance of 20, I'm just very unattractive, right? I'm not like.
Yeah, a 15 is ugly, possibly disfigured due to injury or at birth.
Okay.
So you're bordering on genuinely
20's
ugly.
20 is pretty bad.
Scars. But,
There is not a throw option on here.
On the character sheet, there is.
Yeah, there should be.
No, there's not.
Yeah, it's under throw.
It's right under swim on the far right.
Okay, look, I got it. It's up. Yep. Got it.
Sam, I don't know. I think you could just absolutely dump intelligence. I mean, you can't make it at 0.
Oh, that's what I'm playing. Like, I'm gonna put it pretty darn low. Like it said 15 was like barely can read.
Yeah.
So yeah, it says 15 says slow learner, unable to undertake, able to undertake only the most basic math or read beginner level books.
You don't
So-
need it. It's like I always tell the students with like our patients, like, you know, human anesthesia is more problematic because if you mess up an anesthetized human, they wake up and they can't do math. That's a problem. Our patients don't need to do 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, so I was already thinking of hard dumping intelligence at like somewhere between 15 and 25. Like that
Yeah.
was 25 was like the maximum I was considering for intelligence.
I mean, I'd take it to 10 if I were you.
All right. So now
Yeah,
we've
Daniel,
got-
that looks pretty good.
Cool.
That is
That
a
kind
awesome.
of makes sense for my character to be well rounded.
That's fantastic. I love the app score. I mean, the low scores are often where you get the most fun role playing, in my opinion.
I don't
All
need
right.
that.
58.
Can
Man, yours
I-
is way
can
more
I make
balanced looking
music
than mine
my
right
art
now.
craft?
Absolutely.
All right. So now I'm distributing my 250.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So so the number should still be like, oh, oops, I did that one wrong. Should still be somewhat kind of close to like all these other ones, like somewhere in the like 10 to 20 range ish, right?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right now, after doing all of that math and putting things in, they should all be probably between 10 and 15, maybe 20 for a couple of them.
Yeah.
What is the lowest I can put a score?
A characteristic?
Yes.
1.
I'm looking at how badly I dump my education as well. Cause like if I'm this dumb, like there's no way I'm educated. Like it just doesn't make any sense for me to be educated. If I'm this stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because 0 is a newborn baby and 15 is completely uneducated in every way. You would think that there's something between that.
I was like, I feel like there's some gradation between that, but I can put it at 15 as like I have no education, but I'm not like a literal child.
So we don't have electronics, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And dumping education gave me a few more points to work with.
Nice.
Okay, I think
Computer,
think
keep
this-
up with me. You're killing me. Ugh.
so. What are the things that are like the derived stats? Like HP is based off of like your.
Yeah,
con
the
and
thing calculates
size?
it'll calculate all of those, it looks like.
Right. I was just curious which ones were important for which things.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Build repair. So okay, so I just used
Okay, so sanity equals your power, magic points equal 1/5 of your power, hit points equal size plus con divided by 10. Movement rate is kind of complicated, and then your combat value is strength plus size.
Okay.
And then there's a table to look it up.
And then what was hit points? You said it was con plus size over 10.
Yep.
I thought I put first aid in here somewhere. Where did I put it?
Yeah, don't count on me for medicine.
I'm bulking
You
up
don't
my
want that.
medicine. It's fine.
There should be first aid on there already.
Yeah, I found it. Yep. it's on
Okay,
there.
good.
Yeah, medicine requires education,
Oh yeah.
which you don't want me trying to patch you up.
Okay. So build
then Dan-
repair.
Yeah.
So for build repair, they have like a mechanical repair. So I was just gonna put points in that category for the build
Yeah,
repair.
that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I've got right now. I'm not finalized on this, but here's what I'm looking at the moment for my wildly skewed stats with the two really, really hard dumps of intelligence and education.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's a tough build because there's a lot of characteristics that you got to have.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, it's gonna make it hard on certain skills because like anything that needs education or intel, like there's no way he's doing any science, any perception,
Lord.
very little dodging, no appraisal, no, yeah, anything that's strictly int education or dex is gonna be pretty much out the window. But you know, he's strong and he's charismatic. I've got him like really high appearance.
Yeah,
And really high
that is.
POW.
Yep.
So,
Can I give myself the ability to swim well? Because they have
Yeah.
swim as a separate thing, so I can like put points in that. Is that okay? Because it's not on your list of like.
Swimming is going to be covered under athletics.
would that be
Okay.
like you
But I
can
have
choose
to
that as like a
start-
specialization of athletics?
Yes, you can.
But I don't want to. I want athletics to be general, right? Am I allowed to do that, or do I have to choose?
And you
a
could
special-
do both.
You do not have to choose a specialty for athletics, but I think that you can. Does it have a hash mark next to it?
That was
Yeah.
one of the ones that has a hash mark, so
Yeah.
you can.
So you can, if
So
you
could
want to
I-
have.
Could I
The-
put like a general athletic skill of this plus a bonus skill of this for swimming?
Yes, so you would have two skills basically. You would have athletics, and then you would have swimming as it basically is another skill, but it's a specialization from athletics.
Right.
Yep.
So, because I could use because the athletics gets the strength or the constitution.
Yep. And then your specialization is at half of whatever your athletics is.
Oh, it's at half.
Yep. And then that also costs you 5 points.
I do not
Yeah,
understand.
5 points gets you straight to half of the value. Instead of having to spend all the points to get up to half, you spend
thought I was
5 and
using-
you get straight to half.
I thought I was just distributing my 250.
Yes, but then if you want to specialize, you have to spend 5 points and it'll get you to half of it. So if you bump your athletics to say 50 and then spend 5 points on swimming, you'll have swimming at 25 rather than having to spend all the points to get swimming up to there.
I still don't get it. I
So
guess
instead of spending 25 points to get swimming to 25, you could spend 5 points to get it to half of whatever the associated value is.
but I was just gonna have it as a separate thing. Cause it's on the sheet.
Yeah, I think that that's just because the sheet is, a holdover from the other one. There's no way to have swimming as a totally separate skill dissociated from athletics
Okay,
the way that I've built it. Sorry.
that's okay.
30, 15, 15. Yeah, all right. It's not too crazy. Although I don't know, Sam, you have 15 in intelligence and education. We're gonna have to.
Isn't that awesome? You could dump that education. I said, I don't know. If I were you, I would dump both those to 10, Sam.
I will gladly do that if you'll let me do that. I just saw the lowest values listed there were 15.
Yeah, but even for 15 intelligence, like able to undertake only the most basic math or read beginner level books, I don't think your character needs to do math or read.
Yeah, he's got you guys to if we need to read anything. You can tell him what it says.
And he's a nice
fine.
guy. Like people are going to take care of
He's
him.
friendly. Yeah, you know what? I'm
Tell
gonna
me
take
what it
that
says.
and let's see what is that.
It's variable.
Okay, I'm tempted to just take those 20 points and put them straight into appearance, which would put him at 95 appearance. That's probably a bad idea. I might change that.
Well, if you take both of those down to 10, that'll give you 10 more.
Oh, that's
points,
10
right?
more, not 20 more. So that put me at 85 appearance.
That's pretty good.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
nope, you first.
Question about specialization. So for fighting, it requires specialization. So basically so say I specialize in knives, I would have a separate knife skill. And then if I wanted to take like archery, it would be a separate skill, right?
Archery is under projectiles.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Okay. Like axes. Let's say I had like knives and axes or something.
yep.
Okay.
So
Okay,
then, yeah,
basically,
you would have your fighting brawl, which is your default, and then your specialization in knives would be half, and your specialization in axes would be half.
oh, okay. Basically, I need to spend points to get to brawl, and then anything else would be a specialization on top of that.
Yeah, well, you could do it a couple of different ways. So you could elevate your brawl and then specialize out at half, or you could be like, I don't care about brawl and just put and so specialize out from the beginning, right? So let's say your brawl is whatever, what 12, take your specialization at 6 and buy up from 6.
Um,
Does that make sense, Daniel?
I mean, I just didn't see brawl on your sheet. I mean, I think it's
It's one of the specializations that's associated with fighting.
okay. So,
I have a question.
I have to circle back after I understand specializing a little better or buying skills.
Okay.
Okay, so science
Yes.
is you pick.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to be really good at weather science.
Okay.
So that has a int or education.
Uh-huh.
So does that mean I start with, like, if my intelligence fifth is 18,
Uh-huh.
I put an 18 in there?
So all of the sciences have a 0 at the start. So the associated characteristic for those affects how high they can go, but they start at 0.
So then do I use my 250
Yes,
points to put in
exactly.
there? Okay, so
Yep.
that is okay, fine. Well, I'll just put 20 because that's what I feel like doing.
Yeah.
All right, so it's minus 20.
Although, okay, actually, Daniel, now that I think about it, so Call of Cthulhu definitely assumes that your default fighting is brawl. But the way that we're doing the specializations, like for survival or anything, is you can pick whatever you're specializing in for those that you have to specialize. So if you want to take your fighting skill default as knife, you could do that.
Let's say I want to be very perceptive.
Cool.
So currently I used whatever I use, intelligence,
Uh-huh.
to put in there. So that's 18.
Good.
So if I wanted to increase it to like 28,
Uh-huh.
so that's another 10 of my points. I can
Yep.
do that, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And
Yep.
then the max that I can put that at would be 45 because that's half of my intelligence.
Yeah, without spending 2 to
Without
1.
spending extra.
Yep.
Okay. Got
it.
Just needed to like.
Yeah, work it out.
Oh my God, this sheet is driving me bonkers.
It's got to be the computer because mine is blazing fast.
I'm sure it's my computer or internet or something, but it is having a moment.
Those editable PDFs have been slow for me before.
Really?
Yeah.
So Sam, where are you putting your skills? I guess athletics probably and
yeah, that's where
persuasion.
I'm allocating right now. Yeah, athletics, persuasion, maybe intimidation, definitely some of the fighting skills.
Cool.
Insight, remind me what insight is.
Insight is like reading other people, like getting a sense, like, are they angry? Are they thinking about other things? Like figuring out what's going on. You might, sometimes it also applies for situations, like figuring out, like, usually with other people, like what's going on here.
Patience for this computer. You gotta keep up.
Question about requiring specialization.
Uh-huh.
Still not getting that. Okay, so to get a specialization, you have to spend 5 skill points. So for me to like use any of these things that require specialization, do I pay the 5 and then
Nope. So if a skill allows specialization, has the pound sign,
uh,
then you can add a specialization with 5 skill points. But if it requires it, like ride and survival, it's just whatever, like when you take survival, you choose which specialty of survival you take right now. And that's what your survival skill is.
There's not just a general survival, it's only a
Right.
specialized survival.
okay, so I don't have to like buy into it or
No.
something.
No.
But I can only but it has to specialize in something.
Right. Yep, exactly.
So yeah, for survival, for example, we kind of all get that and can choose whatever, but whereas for science, I have access to it, but I have to actually spend points to get anything because science is a 0% skill.
Yep. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so fighting you were saying about brawl. Sorry, I get that now. It's one of those things where you answered my question, but I didn't understand my question. So yeah, okay. So fighting, I have it now, but I do need to select some sort of default. But then I can.
Yes.
Whereas brawl covers me for most of melee stuff, probably.
Yeah, except sword. So if you want to be good with sword, I would just choose that as your default fighting skill.
Got it.
Yep.
Because yeah, I mean, I'm very much like imagining myself as kind of Aragorn type.
Yeah.
Well, starting that as my starting point and kind of veering off from there.
Right.
I've definitely increased my ability to dodge and to throw projectiles.
Yeah.
Stay at the back, just throw things.
Nice.
It's gonna be great. Ride was one we did not have to. Oh, we do have to pick something special, don't we?
I would just choose horse.
Great. We'll just make that the default.
Do you expect us to be riding horses with some regularity?
Yep. You're going to start off on horses, I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
Okay, cool. How long those horses survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I was going to say it's always a good thing to hear from a DM.
Animal handling.
Oh, I was trying to type in
Eric,
numbers and I was jumping all over the place and I had turned off numlock.
Oh,
Let's see if I can do this.
cool.
Okay. Animal handling is a POW skill.
Uh-huh.
Which puts me at 12.
Okay.
If I wanted to specialize in birds,
Uh-huh.
how do I do that?
The question that I have for you is, do you want to be reasonably good with handling all animals and particularly good with birds, or do you just want to deal with birds?
The former.
The former. So what I would suggest would be to raise up your animal handling skill to maybe 30 or something, 30 or 40, and then spend 5 points to get animal handling birds at half that level. And
well,
then
I'm at 10. This is my last 10 points now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I think maybe I'll just up by that 10 and then just call it, hey.
Yep. You can always add specialties after the game starts too, so.
Okay, I did it.
Yay.
I screenshot it and take a picture for you and see if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Only if my computer will do the dang thing. Quit being dumb. Why are you being so dumb? It's only dumb when I'm like in the thing too.
Yeah,
So,
like Daniel said, it just might really not like the interactive PDF.
My computer is really
So with the
struggling.
magic slash POW, the magic skill based on POW, what am I putting for, like, what is that?
That's going to
for?
be those 5 special power, special like supernatural things. That's going to be that.
Okay, so do I need to allocate points into that skill?
So if you want to start with any of those like supernatural gifts or anything, then yeah, they would have points put into them.
Okay, how does that work? Do I, how many
It's
points?
just they start at 0 and it's 1-to-1.
Okay,
And they're obviously associated with power.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I
it's-
think I got it.
Cool. And so yeah, like I think like we talked about for the Star Wars game, Sam, that most of those kinds of things are going to be like if you try a skill and fail, that it modifies the subsequent effect, unless you want it to be like an enduring effect. But I'm kind of thinking for your character, like you do an athletics check and fail, and then like delve into this deep well of power or something like that.
Gotcha.
Hey, where do I put my hobbies?
Again, you just need to find a spot for them somewhere. If there is a
Oh.
spot, you might have run out of spots at this point.
I think
Maybe-
oh well, no, I can make it work. I got let's see
Okay.
here.
I say I'll probably put mine on like a second page or something. There's
Yeah,
just
that's
not
true.
that-
There's like my story and backstory. Like there's other sections on the page.
But then it won't autofill the like half.
Oh, that's true.
All right. I get 5 skills, right?
You get 100
Hobbies.
points
5.
to allocate.
Huh? How many hobbies?
As many as you. I mean, if you want just one hobby that you put all 100 points in, you can do that.
No,
You're an
I don't wanna do that.
amazing crocheter. Or
Sewing is my hobby.
some of these skills I could have a reasonable score in, but I don't think it makes any sense for me to. Things like investigation. Like I've got good POW, so I could have a good investigate, but it also doesn't super make a lot of sense in my head
Yeah.
for this character to be good at that. So
Oh, can I do like like tarot reading, like zodiac stuff for a hobby?
Yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, so I think that's the major thing that I wanted to get done today, and then in 2 weeks I'll have one-on-one times with each of you guys where we'll meet and talk about your character's history and like what their family is like and like these kinds of things. And ultimately I want the characters to have some depth so that we can tie in sort of future things that happen with their existence in this world. So pull up a map of Middle Earth and put your finger and be like, I want to be from here. And just put some noodle on what your character's been through, especially thinking about we don't have to have like dark closet skeletons in our closet for all the characters, but I do think like some complexity or troubles that they've had, especially Lord of the Rings being kind of epic fantasy. Like a lot of the characters are wrought by grief and lost loves or those kinds of things. There's a lot of good fodder there for characters, I think. So yeah, we'll do backstory sorts of stuff, and then we'll also figure out gear and equipment at a later date, probably via email. So as we're wrapping up, anybody have any questions?
I did it. I didn't
Yay!
do any specialization, but you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
I think the only specialization I'm doing is fighting specialization.
Cool. Okay, so if you guys are good, we'll call it there. And thank you very much for your attentiveness. And yeah, we'll get together in a couple of weeks and maybe be joined by the others and keep working on getting the game put together.
Cool.
Sounds
Love
good.
it.
Yay. Great. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Good night.
Hi, all.
Bye.